Well, wasn't that just delightful? Don't you just wish you could see one of these guys in nature one day? Think of flowers as smelling good, and flowers that do smell good for the same reason that this one smells terrible. They're just trying to attract different kinds of bugs. Pretty cool. Nature's wild, isn't it? Need to learn about stuff like that. Let's pause here. In your papers for today, I said about say turn the page, scroll down to page 2, and this everybody writes. So every single trait and behavior, no matter how weird, has evolved from the same process. So how did corpse flowers evolve to smell like death? Pause here and type your answers in now. Unpause the video when you've got them and you are ready for the next part. All right, let's talk about them together. Fill in the blanks with me below. Think about how the process, the corpse flower evolved to smell like death. You've already written this down in your pages. If you haven't, pause and go back. Kind of go for it here. So step 1, corpse flowers produce more offspring can survive. There's too many corpse flowers. Step 2, because of either what or what, some corpse flowers inherited a trait that made them start to smell bad. What should go in those blanks? Well, probably the first one that ever smelled like death. There was probably some sort of weird mutation that happened. And it just so happened that that completely random smell attracted that certain kind of fly and worked really good. Down the road, it was probably just a regular inherited trait. You can see from the video that corpse flowers reproduce sexually, and so that trait just got passed down from one corpse flower to the next. So it's either because of sexual reproduction or because of random mutation, or possibly, both in this case, that they started to smell bad. How does it go from there? Well, competition happens, right? The flowers that did smell bad and the ones that didn't both competed for mates, essentially, and to avoid predators. So now we're both competing for flies. Some of them smell bad or worse than others. Some of them don't. Really, really good. The ones that randomly and luckily inherited the smell were more likely to survive and more likely to reproduce. And so by some weird selective process over time, more and more corpse flowers smelled worse and worse, developing into the strange organism that exists today. Isn't nature a thing? Today I want to teach you with that example out of the way, not evolution. So we're pretty much mastered the evolutionary process and how it goes. I want to just teach you a few things that are really common that people confuse with evolution. So evolution is the process by which species of organisms change to become better and better adapted to survive in their particular environment over time. That's what evolution is. It's a slow process. Organisms become better and better adapted to survive in a particular environment. It's very specific how it unfolds. It's a logical process. It follows the 4 steps we learned. There are some easy ways to misunderstand it that commonly happen for students that I want you to avoid. As we go, you'll see there are 4 that I want to go over. They're down in the bottom of your stuff for today. I don't want you to worry about typing till I say so. I want you to understand before you fill in any blanks. That's the most important thing to me. Notes are great for if you forget, but they're only helpful if you understand. What I go over is 4 ways people misunderstand evolution that I want you to avoid and you to know why they don't work. So, not evolution number 1. Individual organisms do not evolve. Species evolve, not individual organisms. So, for example, a corpse flower that doesn't inherit the trait of smelling bad can't evolve to smell bad. It doesn't work that way. An individual organism can't evolve. That particular flower is just out of luck. Species of organisms evolve over time, not individual one. One corpse flower can't be ready to die and say, I got to get this good smell. I better evolve to have it. It just doesn't work that way. So the first thing to know about evolution, individual organisms do not evolve. That's number one. It's going to go in your stuff here. Individual organisms do not evolve. I'll leave this up here for you. You can pause and kind of go back and forth. So that's the first trap to avoid. An individual corpse flower, an individual squirrel, an individual pine tree, they can't evolve. It's the species, the whole species evolves over time. Not evolution 2. Evolution is not organisms trying to adapt. If you will, I'm going to end my video here and I'm going to start another one for you. Before we continue on to talking about this, I want you to watch this video in the next part of the e-class announcement.